Merci beaucoup. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue. Huh? Beautiful day today. We are the All Nation Singers. Our good friend Ray is our leader here. I'm very honored that he asked me to present with him today. We're going to teach you guys a little bit about us, and you're going to see some really, really cool stuff. Eh? So usually at the beginning of every time we come in, we break out our drums and we bring out our traditional regalia. We don't call them costumes. They're our regalia, or our outfits. Our powwow clothes. We always have what we call a grand entry. And I think it appropriate that we do this here today. But we were to bring all the dancers in. Great photo op. Get your cameras ready. Lots of great photos to be had here this afternoon. And this is what we call the grand entry. Sometimes been called the coming of the people onto the earth. There was a time Creator made everything. The grass, those trees, the water. He didn't make the bridge or the buildings though. He made the grass first. And all the animals. And the last ones he put here on this earth are us. He put the people here last. And he said, take care of this earth and take care of each other. So that's what this grand entry to some people represents, the coming of the human beings. There you go. Dancers, huh? A grand entry. Ah! People coming to the earth, eh? Where did we come from? Eh? Even the scientists can't tell. When we're born and we're that little tiny thing in our mama's belly, even the scientists don't know what starts that heart beating, eh? And we believe it's the Creator. He goes, and he blows his breath into us. The Creator gives us that life. Oh. Here's our good friend Ray, United States Army veteran. How about a round for Ray, huh? He's our head man. Our head head veteran. But we have several tribes here, several different dances and styles of dance that you're going to see here this morning, or this afternoon. Come from tribes all across North America. Mostly North America. You don't see a lot of South American dancing. They have their own thing that they do. So here in North America, we have a thing called a powwow. Eh? Powwow. In Ojibwe language, that's the language that was spoken here when the French came. Eh? At first, we spoke only Anishinaabe Mawin, Anishinaabe Man. And I'd like to have Julie maybe come up and say a short little thing for us, a short prayer to get us going, to bless this gathering, to bless us all, to bless the organizers, all of you guys in those reenacting and doing all those cool things. So this is Julie White Pigeon.
Oh, we got Jody. Yeah, my name is Swooping Down Woman, and I'm Anishinaabe. I'd like to share with you a prayer that I learned and I shared with my kids. We pray before we eat, because I was taught by my elders that if you give thanks every time you have a meal, you'll never go hungry. So that's what I taught them, and they pray too. So I'd like to say a small prayer. Thank you, our Creator, for all the good things that you have given us. And for this good day, the sun shines down upon us again. Miigwech for giving us this good life and help us to walk this good straight path and to live in prayer. Miigwech.
She didn't know I was going to do that. Pretty good, eh? Just winged it. That's what Indians do, man. We'll wing it. But that language, we always introduce ourselves in our language. Bawa Ting, Sault Ste. Marie, and Dojuba. Nishna Band, Chimigo Chwenda Madagi, Mindamat, Minoagi Benojin, Minoagi Dawagan, Nani Da Nani Miet. We're thankful for all these things. That language was spoken here before French or English, forever before that. Right here, and they call this place Fort Pontchartrain. A lot of history here, learn about it. So what we're gonna hear here today, we're gonna sing some songs on this drum. You heard them coming. This is a modern version of a traditional style drum. And that's what we call the heartbeat. Heartbeat of our people, heartbeat of the earth. And it comes from the earth. And this is an old traditional style of singing for us. This was our music. We didn't have the guitar, none of that stuff. We just had our voices and our drums and our flutes, and those were the first three gifts of music that the Creator gave to us. So we want to start off with our women traditional dancers. Our women traditional dancers. I think it's just appropriate. We're going to mix it up here for you. We want to show you how our culture is dynamic as any other culture. We're constantly changing and evolving. We don't live in the past. We don't look that way. We look that way. We look forward. And we want to share you how we can mix our cultures. So you're going to see a sort of fusion of culture here this afternoon. And as well this evening, we're performing in this evening and again tomorrow afternoon. So this is going to be a real fascinating experiment. We're glad that you guys are volunteering to be our guinea pigs. Tell us what you think. But for our women traditional dancers, I just think it's appropriate for me to sing. I want to give you the traditional version, a traditional style for these ladies. And this is one of the oldest styles of dance amongst Native American people. This dance, goes way back to the BC times, before Columbus. And you're going to see a lot of ladies from a lot of different tribes will dance this style. So there's been a very sort of a homogenization of Native American cultures all put into this thing that we call powwow. And in our language, we call it jink-tomok. Eh? Jink-tomok. Say that word, jink-tomok. Hey, you're talking our tongue, all right. So yeah, and there's over 500 different tribes in this country. Some lady come up and she asked me, how do you say thank you? And I said, we say miigwech. And she thought it was something else. She thought we all spoke the same language. Each culture, each tribe has our own distinct language, culture, and customs. There's all different kinds of tribes. They call us Indian, right? But of course, we're not from India. We're the Casino Indians, not the Dot Indians. I'm gonna get kicked out of here and offend somebody. But when Christopher Columbus came over here, he was looking for India, right? He found us and he called us Indians, and the name stuck, Indian. I'm just glad he wasn't looking for Turkey. Gee. And a couple months later, they knew they weren't in India, and we're like, no, we're not Indian, that's somewhere else. And he goes, you're Indians. And it just stuck, okay? So, but we embrace that now. We call ourselves Indians because it takes the negative power away from it, and we own it. Eh? Well, that's good. So this is our women traditional dancers. They're like the queens of the powwow. We just love our women traditional dancers. And you see women traditional from babies all the way to great grandmas, all dancing that same style, all dancing to that same beat. And it's such a beautiful thing. And we have a couple dancers. One I see, got two, all right. And this is our women traditional dance. Hi. a connection right to the past, right to ancient times. That comes from here. Doesn't come from anywhere else. And we're really honored to be able to share this with you. So our sound guy, where are you at, sound guy? You got your phone on you? We're gonna ask him to bring up a song. So we gotta stretch this out a bit. So I guess that's what we're doing, we're stretching. But Creator gave us 3 gifts of music, all of us. Eh? Anybody here like to sing? How many of you guys sing? I'll bet you all sing in the bathtub. Yeah, it's the best place to sing. That's the first gift the Creator gave to us as music, as human beings. Wherever you go, where there's, on the earth, where there's people, we all have a voice and we can sing. They call it a cappella. The second gift of music was our drum. You just heard that. And the third, wherever you go on the earth, where there's people, there's drums. And wherever you go on the earth, where there's people, you see flutes. No matter where you go. These are common threads that run through us all, that connect us and make us more the same. Chiefs over by Lake Orion, Apple Lake, Orchard Lake. He gathered them on Apple Island, not far from here, just a few miles. And he planned a rebellion against the Europeans, the colonists, the one who brought disease, and the ones who threw their garbage everywhere, the ones who took more than they needed, the ones who took without asking. He said, we gotta get rid of these people. So they fought in the spring of 1763. They burned forts from Fort Pitt, Pittsburgh, to Green Bay. They fought all summer. And when fall came, this time of year, right here, right where we're standing and sitting, it culminated in a big battle here at Fort Pontchartrain. But it was becoming cold and the warriors had to go home and get food for their babies and their families. So his forces were diminished, and Pontiac lost the battle here, right here. Right? That's history you don't read in the book. Oh, go ahead, just read class. Lesson 1. You're getting lots of lessons. We're gonna do our men's traditional dance now. This is also one of the oldest styles of dance that we have in our powwow circle. And Ray is what we call a northern traditional dancer. You'll see he wears eagle feathers on his back. We call that a bustle. That's an eagle feather bustle. And they're golden eagle feathers. Now we don't hunt the eagle for their feathers, we don't do that. That's the most evil thing you could do, is kill an eagle. We get them from the United States government, believe it or not. The Eagle Repository. They send us them. If you're a member of a federally recognized tribe, you can get those feathers. That sounds kind of tinny. How does that sound? Yeah. On his head, you're seeing that hair. That's porcupine hair. It's called a porcupine roach. And it's hard to get that porcupine hair because it's really hard to shave a porcupine. It's difficult. Gotta wear gloves. But no, we find those porcupines. You ever see them laying alongside the road? Lots of times that's where we get that. They also use their quills for beautiful quill work art. Yeah. He's carrying what we call a coup stick, eagle fan. That stick, we used to go into battle, and if you could touch your enemy with that stick and get away, woo, that was terribly humiliating for the guy who got touched. But it was a great victory if you could go touch your enemy with that coup stick. Huh? And he's wearing bells. You're gonna hear those bells as he dances, and that jingle sound, we believe the spirits like that jingle sound. Even a jingle in your pocket of that change, and that'll get a spirit's attention. Yeah. And they come to see. We believe that our spirits help us. They don't haunt us. They help us if you ask them to. And, he'll be telling a story when he dances. Maybe he's going into a battle. He's going to go against his enemy on the field of battle. Or maybe he's sneaking into an enemy camp and he's going to steal a horse or steal a wife. Yeah, we used to do that. I stole 2 of my 5 wives. It was a great honor if you could go and steal something from your enemy and come back to your camp. It was a great honor to do that. So I told the judge that, and he didn't buy it. Hey. So I'm just following my traditions. Hey. But this song I want to send out for all you mothers. Sit by my bed, son. I got something to say to you. You can use it if you need to. My mama said, be kind to everyone, help out every chance you get. Keep a smile on your face. I hope you have the strength to carry every load that you pick up, and smart to know when to put it down. Well, that's what my mama said. That's what my mama said. That's what my mama said. My mama said, put your tobacco down, pray for what you have. Always be thankful. Remember, what doesn't kill you is gonna make you stronger. But it's gonna hurt like hell. That's what my mama said. That's what my mama said. That's what my mama said. Oh yeah! on, Ray. I've never did this before. This is the first time I ever tried this. This is Ray is very creative, very artistic. Very creative, yeah. So we're trying something new here today and we're really having fun with it, yeah. What else we got next? We got our grass dancers. Grass, oh, you wanna go fancy first? Grass, together. Ooh, all right, we're gonna mix them up. Okay, sound guy, click down one more of those songs for me there on your phone. On my right, your left, this is what we call a grass dancer. That's the oldest style of dance that we have. It comes from our friends out on the prairies, the ones who followed the buffalo herds around from northern Alberta to the panhandle of Texas and back again. And they did it for thousands of years. Many generations, those families followed the herds, and those buffalo gave them everything they need, from the clothes they wore to the teepees they lived in, the tools and medicine. Yeah, they used everything from that buffalo. Yeah, and it was good eating too. Very lean meat. That's why in the movies and in the old pictures, you never saw big fat Indians like me. They're all lean, not yet. They're all very lean. Should be able to get down to that. Yeah. Until they came and they killed almost all the buffaloes. There were hundreds of millions of buffaloes. Turn of the century, there was about 6,000 shot for their hides and their tongue. And the rest was left to rot in the sun. When we'd go to our villages, when we'd come time to set up our teepees, there would be a whole bunch of men dressed like this young man here. That fringe represents the grass. They would tie real grass on their outfits. Yeah. Yeah. And they would dance on the grass and lay it down like that, not to cut it. So they're kind of like an Indian lawnmower. Hey. But they didn't kill the grass. We would set up our camps and have our ceremonies and have our babies and all that. And when it came time to leave, the grass would stand back up like magic. Huh? So watch his feet. You'll see like he's dancing and he's patting down the grass. That's called a grass dancer. Over here we have what we call a fancy bustle dancer. He has 2 feather bustles on his back. We owe Buffalo Bill and his Wild West show for that. He said, I want you to color it up. He wants, I want more feathers. I want some more action for the crowd. It's for entertainment purposes. And we took that suggestion from him. And it's become a whole dance unto itself. All right, boys, get out. Kind of like a crow hop. Good job. Yeah, you tell it right out there, buddy. Good job, good job. Good job, fellas. Yeah. Kind of a contemporary version of an ancient tradition, hey? And that's how we are as Native people. You know, we all have jobs and, you know, we all drive cars and stuff like that. We don't live in teepees anymore, unless we want to. You know, I like living outside. I love it. I don't like living in a big old box. All right, looks like next we're gonna have what we call our fancy shawl dancer. Over here on the right is a beautiful young lady. You can see her shawl is very, very beautifully dressed up with applique and beautiful fringe. You'll see she's wearing it over her shoulders. If you recall when our lady traditional dancers were here, they carried their shawl over their arm. Huh? And this is another one of the newer styles of dance that we have in our powwow circle. Comes to us relatively recently. The younger ladies, you know, they saw that our traditional dancers is very, very beautiful, very royal and regal, and very beautiful dance for those women traditional. But those younger women, they wanted a little faster beat. Huh? A little faster beat. They wanted to dress their shawls up, and they used to actually compete with the men. And then sometimes the women would even beat the men in the contest, until they got their own category, we call it, this dance style, this dance category in the contest. And you'll see the magic is in the footwork. You watch her feet, it almost looks like she's not even touching the ground. And I've heard stories where this represents the life of a butterfly. You see she has her shawl around her, looks like a cocoon. And then when that drum starts, she starts dancing and she spreads her wings like a beautiful butterfly fluttering around on this beautiful, beautiful day. I'm gonna give it to her straight. You'll see the drum beat is a little faster, a little more animated, a little more energetic. The style, this is generally reserved for our younger ladies or the women who are in really good shape. Because these are the sprinters of our dancers, really. You see, man, it's really, really difficult dance to master. And the footwork is very unique to this style of dance. Very, very unique to this style of dance. Just as the grass dancer has his own style of dancing, his own steps. That's very unique to each and every one of these dance styles. So this is what we call the women's fancy shawl dance.